A very good morning to all my dear students. I hope you all are healthy and safe. Stay home and stay safe. Dear students, in today's video, I am going to explain you the story A Visit to Cambridge, which is written by Firdaus Kanga. Alright, and this is a very inspiring and very motivational story. So, you are definitely going to learn a lot from this story. Students, this story is taken from your English NCERT book Honeydew, Class 8, Chapter 7. So, before I move on to the explanation of the story, let me just give you the introduction of the story. So, as I told you that this story is written by Firdaus Kanga, who is a writer and journalist from Mumbai. Alright, and he was born with brittle bones that tended to break easily when he was a child. Now, students, this lesson gives us a glimpse of the meeting between Firdaus Kanga and Stephen Hawking. Stephen Hawking, one of the greatest scientists of our time, suffered from a form of paralysis that confined him to a wheelchair and allowed him to speak only by punching buttons on a computer, which speaks for him in a machine like voice. Both these men moved around in wheelchairs. It was during Firdaus Kanga's visit to Cambridge that they met each other. Right. Now, it's very important, students, for you to know that disability is certainly not the end of life's journey. Every handicapped person is gifted with one or the other talent, right? So it makes up for the loss of his eyesight or legs or speech. Stephen Hawking's body failed him badly. He could not even move his finger properly, but he established himself as a great scientist by virtue of his brain. The author also could move only in his wheelchair, but from India he traveled to England to collect material for his book. He lived creatively and honorably. Both hated to be pitied or sympathized. Right? So they believed in concentrating on what they could do or were good at. Stephen's advice to the community of disabled was that they need not waste their time in playing games at the Olympics. The author felt strong after interviewing Stephen. So now, students, let us see what is there before you read. This is the story of a meeting between two extraordinary people. Extraordinary people because they are disabled. Alright, they are disabled but of course filled with talent. So they are extraordinary. Both of them disabled or differently abled, as we now say. Stephen Hawking is one of the greatest scientists of our time. He suffers from a form of paralysis that confines him to a wheelchair and allows him to speak only by punching buttons on a computer, which speaks for him in a machine-like voice. Firdaus Kanga is a writer and journalist who lives and works in Mumbai. Kanga was born with brittle bones that tended to break easily when he was a child. Like Hawking, Kanga moves around in a wheelchair. The two great men exchange thoughts on what it means to live life in a wheelchair and on how the so-called normal people react to the disabled. So students, first of all, we should never just make any difference with the disabled people. Okay, they are also human beings and they are also same like us only. All right, It's not like that if they are disabled, so we should keep any distance, or we should have any different kind of attitude or thinking for them. They are also same like us, and they should be treated and given the same respect. Now students, I will do the explanation of the story. Alright, first I will read and then I will do explanation of the red lines. Alright, so please all of you pay attention and listen very carefully. Cambridge was my metaphor for England, and it was strange that when I left it had become altogether something else, because I had met Stephen Hawking there. Students, metaphor means a thing regarded as representative or symbolic of something else, right? Now the author begins by telling the readers that at some point in life, England only meant Cambridge for him and nothing more. He further remarked that after his meeting with Stephen Hawking, the meaning and relevance of England in his life changed completely. So let us see how it changed his life. It was on a walking tour through Cambridge that the guide mentioned Stephen Hawking, poor man who is quite disabled now, though he is a worthy successor to Isaac Newton, whose chair he has at the university. And I started because I had quite forgotten that this most brilliant and completely paralyzed astrophysicist, the author of A Brief History of Time, one of the biggest bestsellers ever, lived here. Okay, now students, let us see first of all the meaning of astrophysicist. Let me tell you, the meaning of astrophysicist is scholar of astrophysics. Okay, means branch of physics dealing with stars, planets, etc. Right? See, here it is, meaning is also given, astrophysicist. So now students, explanation of what I have read. The author mentions that he happened to be on a walking tour through Cambridge when his guide spoke about Stephen Hawking. So the guide called him a poor man. You know why? Because he was differently abled. He even told the author that Stephen Hawking now holds the position in the university which was earlier held by Isaac Newton. Students, the author is trying to do what? The author is trying to reveal that before the guide had mentioned, he had forgotten that Stephen Hawking, most brilliant and completely paralyzed astrophysicist, the author of one of the biggest bestsellers ever, A Brief History of Time, lived there. Right? Let us read further. When the walking tour was done, I rushed to a phone booth and, almost tearing the cord so it could reach me outside, phoned Stephen Hawking's house. There was his assistant on the line, and I told him I had come in a wheelchair from India. Perhaps he thought I had propelled myself all the way to write about my travels in Britain. I had to see Professor Hawking. Even 10 minutes would do. Half an hour, he said, from 3:30 to 4. Students, propelled, it means drive or push something forward. But here it means to come. Okay. So once the walking tour came to an end, the author then hurried to the nearest phone booth and stretched the cord to the extent of almost tearing it so that it could reach him outside the booth, because he was on a wheelchair, right? Now he called Stephen Hawking's residence, where his assistant answered the call. What happened next? The author introduced himself as someone who came all the way from India, okay, which the assistant must have taken in the literal sense that he traveled all the way from India on a wheelchair, to write about his traveling experience in Britain. Now the author explained that he needed to see Professor Hawking, even if it meant only for 10 minutes. But the assistant gave him a 30 minute slot from 3:30 to 4 for the next day. Okay, now let us see what happened next. See, here you have the picture also. You can see the picture of Firdaus Kanga. Next we see, students, I will read for you and then I will explain accordingly. And suddenly I felt weak all over. Growing up disabled, you get fed up with people asking you to be brave, as if you have a courage account on which you are too lazy to draw a check. The only thing that makes you stronger is seeing somebody like you achieving something huge. Then you know how much is possible and how you reach out further than you ever thought you could. Students, the meaning of these lines is very interesting and very inspiring. The author began feeling weak at that moment. He relates how one is constantly told to be brave and cheerful when you grow up being differently abled, as if it were that easy. He mentions that people think one who is different is just lazy to draw a check on their courage account. In such a situation, the only thing that gives you courage and strength is seeing people like you doing something big. Yes, it is only then you know there is a hope and possibility which makes you go beyond your limits and imagination. Next, I haven't been brave, said his disembodied computer voice the next afternoon. Students, disembodied means separated from the body. Okay, disembodied means separated from the body. I have had no choice. Surely I wanted to say living creatively with the reality of his disintegrating body was a choice. But I kept quiet because I felt guilty every time I spoke to him, forcing him to respond. There he was, tapping at the time switch in his hand, trying to find the words on his computer with the only bit of movement left to him, his only pale fingers. Even so often his eyes would shut in frustrated exhaustion. And sitting opposite him, I could feel his anguish. Anguish का मतलब तो you must be knowing. It is a severe mental or physical pain or suffering. Okay. The mind buoyant with thoughts that came out in frozen phrases and sentences, stiff as corpses. But a buoyant मतलब होता है intensely active and vibrant. Okay, buoyant means intensely active and vibrant. Now Frozen, it is lifeless. And yes, the last word here in this paragraph, corpses. Okay, corpses बेटा मतलब होता है dead bodies. It means dead bodies. Okay, disintegrating मतलब होता है wearing out. It means wearing out. And disembodied means without a body, bodiless. Now I will do the explanation of this paragraph. The next afternoon, when he went to see him, Stephen Hawking told him that he hadn't been brave. He spoke in his disembodied computer voice that he had no other option. The author wanted to reply that living so creatively, even with his disabilities, was a brave choice when he refrained from doing so, as his guilt took over every time he pushed Stephen Hawking to respond by talking to him, right? So he spoke by finding the words on his computer and then tapping a little switch in his hand with the only remaining movement left in his pale and long fingers. He would easily fatigued and would shut his eyes every now and then in frustration. Frustrated, disappointed. So students, the author mentions how he could feel Hawking's pain as the thoughts in his intensely active and vibrant mind came out emotionless and stiff as a corpse. Right. Next. A lot of people seem to think that disabled people are chronically unhappy. I said, I know that's not true myself. Are you often laughing inside? About 3 minutes later, he responded, I find it amusing when people patronize me. And do you find it annoying when someone like me comes and disturbs you in your work? The answer flashed, yes. Then he smiled his one-way smile, and I knew, without being sentimental or silly, that I was looking at one of the most beautiful men in the world. Now students, let us see first of all the difficult words. Okay, the meaning of difficult words. Chronically, it means in a persistent and recurring way. Amusing means causing laughter and providing entertainment. Next word is, yes students, patronize. Patronize मतलब होता है to be kind or helpful to someone, but to talk to them as if they are inferior. And sentimental, you must be knowing, it means prompted by feelings or tenderness or nostalgia. Right. Now I will explain you what I have read. The author expresses how most people think that people with different abilities are constantly sad and miserable, but as far as he is talking about himself, it is not true. He asks Hawkins if it was true for him, or was he laughing on the inside. From inside he was laughing. It took Hawking almost 3 minutes to respond. He finds it entertaining when people are only kind to him because of his different abilities. The author further asks him if he feels irritated when people like him come and just keep him away from his work, to which he answered a firm yes. After that, Stephen smiled his one-way smile, not giving to emotions, but the author knew for sure that he was looking at one of the most beautiful and wonderful men in the world. A first glimpse of him is shocking, but he is like a still photograph, as if all those pictures of him in magazines and newspapers have turned three dimensional. Then you see the head twisted sideways into a slump and torso shrunk inside the pale blue shirt, the wasted legs. You look at his eyes, which can speak still, and they are saying something huge and urgent. It is hard to tell what. But you are shaken because you have seen something you never thought could be seen. Okay, students, now let us see the meaning of difficult words. So, we have got slump. Slump मतलब होता है sit, learn or fall heavily and limply. Next word is torso. Okay, torso, upper part of the body. And wasted. Wasted, so you must be knowing weak or emaciated. Okay, these are the some of the difficult words. Now students, I'll do the explanation of this paragraph, so please listen carefully. The author mentions how the first glance of Hawking startles you because he is motionless, just as a photograph. It seems that all his photos in magazines and newspapers have become three-dimensional, but still, as you notice him further, his head is turned sideways limply. The upper part of the body is shrunk inside his dull blue shirt and legs weak. Okay. So shrunk मतलब होता है hidden. Shrunk means hidden. Now see students, his eyes appear as if they can speak. They are still, yet trying to speak something of great significance and urgency. Although what they are saying is hard to decipher. It is very hard to decipher. Having looked at him shakes you up completely because your eyes have something completely unexpected. So before you, like a lantern whose walls are worn so thin you glimpse only the light inside. It is the incandescence of a man. The body, almost irrelevant, exists only like a case made of shadows. So that I, no believer in eternal souls, know that this is what each of us is, everything else as an accessory. Now students, what is the meaning of incandescence? Incandescence मतलब होता है inner glow और light, and accessory मतलब होता है not essential but extra, though decorative. Okay, and eternal, immortal. Eternal means immortal. Now students, see, I'll do the explanation. When you see him, it appears as if he is like a lantern whose walls are so worn out that you can only see the light inside. Yes, before you is the inner glow of a man. It makes you feel that the body is irrelevant and exists only like a case made of shadows. It even makes the author a non-believer in eternal souls. One realizes that a man is no more than that. Everything else is just not essential. Next, what do you think is the best thing about being disabled? I had asked him earlier. I don't think there is anything about good being disabled. I think I said, you do discover how much kindness there is in the world. Yes, he said. It was a disadvantage of his voice synthesizer synthesizer that it could convey no inflection, no shades or tone, and I could now tell how enthusiastically he agreed with me. So, students, first of all, difficult meaning of difficult words. First is synthesizer. Okay, synthesizer, it means produced by artificial method. Okay, it is an electronic musical instrument typically operated by a keyboard, producing a wide variety of sounds, right, by generating and combining signals of different frequencies. And beta, inflection means rise and fall of the voice in speaking. So now I will do the explanation. The author asked Stephen, what according to him was the best thing about being differently abled, to which Hawking replied that he did not find anything good about it. The author then expressed that he thinks it makes you discover that there is so much kindness in the world. Stephen agreed, but due to his voice synthesizer, the author could not decipher the excitement behind his answer, as there is a disadvantage that comes with it, that it conveys no inflection, shade or tone. Okay. Next, every time I shifted in my chair or turned my wrist to watch the time, I wanted to make every one of our 30 minutes count. I felt a huge relief and exhilaration in the possibilities of my body. How little it mattered then that I would never walk or even stand. बेटा exhilaration मतलब होता है exhilaration, a feeling of happiness, excitement. Okay. Now explanation. The author, students, now mentions that each time he adjusted himself in his chair or had a look at his wristwatch to track time, he wanted to make sure that no single minute of the meeting went wasted. And how much time we waste? Uncounted. So he adds that he was relieved and happy about the limited possibilities his body had to offer. In that moment, it almost did not matter to the author that he would not be able to walk or even stand, for that matter. Next. I told him now how he had been an inspiration beyond glitch. Okay, beyond glitch. But a glitch means an overused phrase that has lost its meaning. Okay. So I'll read again. I told him how he had been an inspiration beyond glitch for me and surely for others. Did that thought help him? No, he said. And I thought how foolish I was to ask. When your body is a claustrophobic room and the walls are growing narrower day by day, it doesn't do much good to know that there are people outside smiling in admiration to see you breathing still. Now, I have already told you, and here also it is written, the meaning of glitch. Phrase or idea used too often that it loses its meaning. Okay. And claustrophobic. बेटा claustrophobic means होता है very small and suffocating. Very small and suffocating. Actually, claustrophobia is abnormal fear of being in an enclosed space. Now I will do the explanation. So please listen carefully. The author confessed to him how Stephen had inspired him beyond limits, and he was sure that he must have inspired a lot others also. He asked if this fact made it any better for Stephen, and Stephen said that it didn't. On hearing his answer, the author felt foolish for even asking such a question. This is because Stephen Hawking feels when your own body is like a very small and suffocating room whose walls are getting closer day by day. The fact that people out there are happy that you are alive does not make much of a difference for you. Okay. Next I read, is there any advice you can give disabled people, something that might help make life better? They should concentrate on what they are good at. I think things like the disabled Olympics are a waste of time. I know what you mean. I remembered the years I had spent trying to play a Spanish guitar considerably larger than I was, and how gleefully I had unstringed it one night. The half hour was up. I think I have annoyed you enough, I said, grinning. Thank you for stay. I waited. Have some tea. I can show you the garden. The garden was as big as a park, but Stephen Hawking covered every inch, rumbling along in his motorized wheelchair while I dodged to keep out of the way. We couldn't talk very much. The sun made him silent, the letters of his screen disappearing in the glare. So students, gleefully means very happily. Okay? Gleefully means very happily, and rumbling means a continuous deep resonant sound, probably of the wheels. Okay, here it is the sound of the wheels. Now let me explain you. The author asked Stephen if he would like to give a piece of advice to other differently means disabled people, which would help make life a little easier for them. Stephen said that they should focus on their strengths and what they are good at. According to Stephen, things like Olympics for the differently abled are a waste of time. The author got the gist of what Stephen meant because he had spent years learning to play a Spanish guitar, which was larger than his own size, and how he unstringed it one night very happily. बेटा unstringed मतलब होता है broken. Okay, unstringed means broken. The 30 minutes came to an end, and the author smiled as he said, I think I have annoyed you enough, and continued to thank him for his time, but was interrupted by Stephen, who instead asked him to stay, and asked him to stay only because he was also liking his company. He waited for Stephen to say something next, and he offered the author some tea and a chance to show his garden also. Okay, even though the garden was as big as a park, Stephen showed him every inch and corner of it of his on his motorized wheelchair. The author tried not to come in his way. They couldn't converse a lot during that time, as the letters on his screen disappeared in the glare. Okay, glare, I told you, glow. So it felt as if the sun made him silent. Right? Next I read, And our, see students, we have picture of Stephen also. We have picture of Stephen, you can see over here. Next I read, an hour later we were ready to leave. I didn't know what to do. I could not kiss him or cry. I touched his shoulder and wheeled out into the summer evening. I looked back and I knew he was waving, though he wasn't. Watching him, an embodiment of my bravest self, the one I was moving towards, the one I had believed in for so many years. Alone I knew that my journey was over for now. Students, embodiment means symbol, okay, and waving, you all know, moving his arm. So now let me explain you this paragraph. An hour passed and it was time to leave. The author did not know what to do as he left, as he could not kiss him or even cry. Thus he touched his shoulder and went out into the summer evening in his wheelchair. The author knew Stephen was waving when he actually wasn't. As he looked back, he wasn't waving, but he just assumed that he was waving. The author expresses how glancing at Stephen was like looking at his bravest self, the one he was moving towards and the one he had believed in for so many years. He was well aware that his journey was over for now in England. So you see students that even if anyone is disabled, as I have told you, disability is certainly not the end of life's journey. So if anyone is disabled, we should not keep any distance, or we should not just look them down. They are also the same human beings, and they could be more talented than us. So this was a very motivational story and a very heart touching too. I hope you all have enjoyed, and in the next video I'll be just discussing question and answers with you. Thanks a lot and have a nice day.